Words like violence.
Isn't it words like sirens?
No, I thought that too, and then I looked it up, and it is not.
But sirens is better.
But violence actually rhymes with silence, and sirens just sounds like the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sirens is better.
We
You're
should
right.
write songs.
We should write songs. Dear Depeche Mode, your biggest hit, we made it better. All I ever flaunted is here in my car. Hello, welcome to Nerd Cage. I'm your host, Alex Young, and joining me as always is the opinionated Today we're talking Ghost in the Shell. It was several years ago that Fred finally convinced me to watch the original 1995 classic, and needless to say, I loved it. Though I was a little surprised when I went back to read the original manga and found that it was tonally rather different. While it still touched on some of the philosophical issues that make the film so poignant, it's quite a bit sillier, lighter, sometimes even goofy. So when it was announced that the live-action film would be much closer to the manga, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But fear not, as it is almost a shot-for-shot remake of the original anime. Nailed it. I anticipated hating the live-action remake of Ghost in the Shell, but I really hoped that I would like it, so I went in with cautious optimism. As much as I'm a fan of the original, I'm also a fan of Scarlett Johansson, and the visuals in the trailer looks pretty good. Those are two separate compliments. It came out creepier than I thought it would. Nope. She's
like
a very talented actress. There's a differential in the middle that splits them up. Shut up. Separate and equal compliments. What was I saying? I'm a fan of slow, dark, broody covers of famous songs and movie trailers. Common practice, I know, but I'm into it. If I'd obeyed my first impulse and walked away, I would have sold myself short of a surprisingly decent movie. In the first 5 minutes, all my fears were realized as Juliette Binoche is given the cringeworthy task of explaining the title to American audiences. Explaining to the Major that she was in a terrible accident and her brain, her ghost, is going into a cybernetic shell. It made me so mad I wanted to die. It's so condescending, and it filled me with palpable rage. But on the strength of Scarghost herself, she slowly pulled me back into the movie, and overall, I ended up kind of enjoying it.
Are you trying to make Scarghost a thing?
Scarghost is now a thing.
No.
I've decided it's a thing. It's also way shorter to say than Scarlett Johansson as Major Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell 2017. Visually, this film is outstanding and worth the theatrical trip for that alone. It borrows a lot from the 1995 anime, though the real standout for me is the city itself. A beautifully realized retro-futuristic city that rings rather strongly of Ridley Scott's 2019 Los Angeles. But what sets it apart from most sci-fi or cyberpunk cities is how much of it is showcased in the daylight. It's such a breath of fresh air to be out of the literal dark and stormy future. The live-action city couldn't be more different from the one depicted in the 1995 classic. While the 2017 version is inundated with holograms and shiny skyscrapers, the original is much grungier, bleaker, yet both possess a striking beauty and unique style. Despite the all-too-common whitewashing of its main character, something that clearly had a pretty negative effect on box office revenue, Scarlett Johansson is f***ing fantastic in this movie. At no point did I believe that she wasn't a cyborg, which I know is a weird compliment, but kudos on robotic acting? Also, I didn't know Michael Pitt was in this movie, which was a pleasant surprise because he's amazing also. The live action deals less with the concept of humanity and identity than the original, but it does touch on ownership. In the 1995 version, Bato has a throwaway line about Section 9 owning all their cybernetic parts, and when they retire they'll have to turn them in. But what does that make of the Major? The live action does its best to tackle this, but ultimately misses the philosophical mark. I'd love to see it addressed further in a sequel? Said only me. No one else is demanding a sequel. Script-wise, you're not going to be blown away. The story is very linear and has a few plot holes. The biggest for me being Scarghost picking up her old cat that knows her because it can either smell her brain or is magic.
Witchcraft.
However, it has the tone and pacing of a sci-fi police corruption movie that was made in the 80s, which I found very endearing. Granted, it has some insensitive casting issues made worse by early plot points, but ultimately I enjoyed this movie. Outstanding performances, direction, and visuals make for a fairly compelling 2 hours. If nothing else, it'll serve as a gateway, hopefully, for people to check out the original franchise. Thanks for watching. See you in 2 weeks. Probably gonna talk about
Slinkies.
Slinkies. Whole episode's about Slinkies. Because everyone loves a Slinky.
I feel like Scarghost is so much harder than like Major Joe.
I mean, Major Joe?
Major Johansson. It's just like Major and then Johansson.
Scarghost.
Major Joe. You know what it was? It was her walk.
It was the walk.
It was that robot walk.
She straight up walked like a cyborg. Like 100% future walk.
That's a major compliment.
Get out. Get Out. It is a Disney reference to The Lion King, either Zazu or Scar. I don't really remember, but I know one of them says it because I got a lot of Disney knowledge in the vault. This is the vault of knowledge. My skull computer. My shell. No, my ghost. We're cut. Let's go see a movie.
Well, yeah, it finished.
It finished. We're done.